Today, I'm at a pretty special location in the world, Longyearbyen in Svalbard, which is the most northerly town in the world at 78 degrees north, to do something that's been on my photography bucket list for a very long time. Now, I've always had a fascination with wildlife, and since I became a photographer around 6 or 7 years ago, a goal of mine is to photograph one of the rarest animals in the world, an animal that really is the king of the Arctic, the polar bear. Now, polar bears are incredibly rare, even in a location like this. Svalbard is massive, and there's only an estimated 250 in this location, so that's a lot of ground to cover. Now, occasionally, they do walk in and around town, but that is a very rare occurrence. So to get the best possible chance to photograph a polar bear and the rest of the amazing Arctic wildlife like Arctic foxes, walruses, and maybe possibly even some dolphins and whales, we have to go out at sea. So today I'm here with Svalbard Adventures on an Arctic rig boat to get the best possible chance of one of my ultimate photography lifetime goals. What's that over there? I think we've just spotted something. And I'm gonna start right now. Okay, so the plan for this trip on the rib boat, we are currently here, Longyearbyen, and we've already discovered this. We went here just yesterday. So the plan for this is we're gonna head out on the boat, cross the fjord, and head up to here. This is Longyearbyen. We've got a glacier here and a glacier here. So what we're hoping to see is a little bit more ice around this section, and hopefully we'll see walruses, polar bears, or any other kind of aquatic mammal. The plan is to get hopefully a little bit closer. Because rib boats are a little bit smaller than the boats that we've already been on, we can get a lot closer to the ice, because the problem is the closer you go to a lot of these glaciers, the shallower the water. So the idea is to get nice and close to kind of the edge of the ice and hopefully get even closer to a lot of the wildlife. Let's hope we have a little bit of luck on our side, because so far we've been quite far from a lot of the wildlife. So me and William are already in the boat. We're near the back. Which actually we should get a little bit, it shouldn't be as bumpy, but we've still got a great view, which is really looking forward to it. There's 12 of us on this boat, so it's quite a few of us. It's basically fully booked. So yeah, really looking forward to it. We've been quite lucky so far with a lot of the wildlife. We've already basically ticked off everything, haven't we, really? Pretty much. So my aim for today is to get better images of what we've already got. So I'm thinking, hopefully, either a walrus in the water or even a walrus on the ice. We've already kind of got those photos, but today, as you can see, we've got so much better weather. So I'm hoping to get even cleaner images with maybe a little bit more contrast, because we were shooting in the snow last time. It was very, very thick, very dense. So today it's gonna be a totally different experience and on a totally different boat. So really looking forward to it. So the cameras I've got today, I've got two to give me a little bit of range as well as aperture. So I'm testing the brand new Sigma 300 to 600mm f4. I've got that with the L mount, so I'm using it with the Leica SL2. I've also got my Canon R3 with the 200 to 800. So if wildlife's a little bit further away, that's the camera I'm going to be using with that lens. And I've also got with me the 2x teleconverter. So if animals are really far away, I'm going to be shooting with that, with the 2x. That'll give me around 1600mm maximum focal reach, which will be quite nice. But if the animals are a little bit closer and I want to get a slightly better image, I've got the 300 to 600mm with the Leica there. And what's quite nice about the wildlife in Svalbard, apart from the birds, is a lot of them are fairly slow moving. So it will be a little bit easier to photograph than most wildlife. Walruses aren't famous for moving very, very fast, and polar bears, well, unless they're running towards you, usually are walking or even sitting down. So we're just leaving the bay. It did seem like it was calmer, but I don't think it's calmer. It looks quite rough.
It does look quite rough.
It does look quite rough. I'm hoping we don't get a lot of spray. You just never know when the good shot's going to happen. We're literally just driving along. We're about
I don't know, 3/4 away across the fjord on the other side, just heading towards some glaciers. 2 birds flying just across the side there. Absolutely amazing shot. Got the camera out, started photographing, not realising that I didn't change the settings, or I haven't got the camera set up yet. And I was shooting at 100 ISO, which on the 200 to 800 with the 2x teleconverter, that's about f14, which is way too dark. So I was shooting about a 200th of a second, which in usual cases was probably going to be okay, but you know, I'm bouncing around on the boat, the birds are moving. Annoyingly, as you can see by a lot of these photos, they're all blurry. So one thing to bear in mind when you're doing something like this, before you leave the port, which is what I should have done, and I've done it with one of my cameras, make sure all of the settings are perfect and ready to go as soon as you start seeing wildlife. Because you just never know when they're going to start popping up. And you don't, what the last thing you want to do is see an epic shot, start setting up your photo, and you just end up with crap images. So make sure your shutter speed, aperture, ISO is all set up. Make sure your white balance you're all happy with. Make sure you're in the right focus mode, your drive mode. Make sure all that's set up before you leave the port or before you start photographing. It's really imperative when you're in a situation like this. Anyway, I'm gonna go warm up again because this it's absolutely freezing. So we've just made it to the other side of the fjord. We've got the ice literally just to our left. Now, what I'm hoping is we'll start seeing some wildlife either near or actually on the ice sheet. And right over there, probably another half a mile, we've got 2 giant glaciers. But yeah, the ice sheet is literally just here. Absolutely breathtaking. Yeah, this is beautiful.
Yeah.
So it's because we're closer to the glacier, it's covering more of the weather isn't affecting us as much. So the water is almost like glass, which means reflections.
Keep your eye out. The birds really sit low on the water.
Yeah.
There are some walruses.
Where? There's walruses.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Walruses to our 9 o'clock.
Yeah, I thought that might be
It all happens all of a sudden so very, very quickly. One of the guests in front, literally, I guess they've got binoculars, spotted them. And luckily, because I've got more resolution on this camera, I can zoom in a little bit. But there's some walruses just over there. Everything happens so quickly here. But yeah, this could be... I just literally zoomed in. Can you see? There's 3 there, and possibly 3 there with maybe 1 more there. Obviously, zoom very in at 600mm. Sometimes it's important to take a reference photo just to see what's there and zoom in, and then you can gauge what's a little bit closer. So we're quite behind quite a few people. All the photographers are at the back of the boat, so we're all we can see is people's heads, but I'm sure we'll get a bit closer in a minute. Everyone's very excited, but I can't see anything as of yet. So for this, to make sure I've got nice sharp images, I'm going to be shooting at around 800 ISO. That will give me around 5,000th of a second, making sure my images are nice and sharp. So I'm currently just leaning down there, shooting on the other side. I don't want to get in anyone's shot, so I'll come down here and wait until the boat turns around. But I've decided to come a little bit lower. And the reason for that is I want to create a bit more of a reflection shot. So I'm going to try and use the water, as it's so flat, it was almost like a mirror. But to get a better composition when doing so, you want to be as close to the water as possible. Just in case I drop the camera in the water, there's no getting it back. I actually had a nightmare last night that I did that, so I've brought the strap here just so that doesn't happen.
have these little mustache whiskers. They'll sort of dive down and roll around in muddy waters.
So how deep do they dive normally?
They like the shallow areas, maybe 40, 50 meters. Probably go like
Just swapping lenses, so using a little bit more environmental portraits for the
300 to 600, and getting real close, very intimate details with the 200 to 800. Now, although, you know, the lens is great, the camera's also really important as well. One of the things I'm struggling with the Leica, although obviously it's a really, really nice camera, is all the cameras that I've been shooting with have either tilting or vari-angle touchscreens, but the Leica doesn't, which means I want to try and get as low as I can to the water. I'm struggling to see through the viewfinder because of how small this boat is. So one thing I would recommend is, if you are thinking of getting a camera, having a camera that doesn't have a tilting screen or an oscillating screen or anything like that, I'd probably avoid. Even if the sensor's really good, like in the Leica, you know, this is an amazing camera for photography. Big issue to photograph in situations like this. It can be quite restricting. How is it for you, Wills?
Good. I've got some hanging off the boat quite low, so the water,
It's amazing to me you've got
like
this
nice
sky.
flowing from the water. But also we don't want to get too close because it's fucking cold. So, yeah.
You think you got the centre thing.
So me and William are shooting quite differently. Obviously, I've got these really big, heavy lenses. But as William just said, what he can do is actually almost hang over the boat. And because he's got a lot lighter lens, what you can do is be very, very close, almost touching the water. But annoyingly, with the equipment that I've got, it's too heavy. I'd probably end up dropping it in there, and that would be disastrous. So having big and heavy lenses does have its advantages. Also, think about the negatives as well, is maybe you can't get into the right angle or the right shot. So definitely think about the lenses, maybe bring one big telephoto and one slightly smaller telephoto to give you slightly different compositions and give you slightly different advantages. Obviously, I've got two giant lenses, so it's not possible for me today. But if I came back next time, I'd probably bring a 70-200 and then maybe a 400 or 600 prime, or ideally, I'd like to bring back that Sigma 300 to 600 now, because that is a benefit of prime and zoom all rolled into one. So that was a pretty special experience. We spent, I don't know, 45 minutes photographing them, and we kind of circled them, so we've got a whole range of different compositions. But yeah, this has got to be the highlight of my trip. We've got amazing photos on both. I haven't yet looked at them. I'm sure they're going to be in focus. But yeah, the sun is just starting to get covered by some of the clouds, so the weather has changed. It's still very quiet, very, very tranquil, but we haven't got that bright, intense sun that we had at the start of the day. I'm not sure if you can see, but we've got some of the glaciers behind. Amazing. The walruses are literally just on the other side of the boat, so the other photographers on the other side can photograph it. But it looks like we might have spotted something else, but I'm not sure what yet. It might be other walruses. But yeah, those photos there, I don't think I could beat them. And I think everyone on the boat is very happy.
Yeah.
So we just stopped for lunch and some coffee, or actually hot blackcurrant juice, which is absolutely love. It's kind of like a staple of Svalbard. Literally just having lunch next to an amazing glacier. I'm not sure which one it's called. Absolutely beautiful. Best lunchtime view I think I've ever had. So what I also have with me today, which I was using a little bit but then took it off, is this. This is a 2x teleconverter. And what it will do is this specific one will double the focal length that you're using. So with the 200 to 800 that I've got, this will convert it into a 400 to 1600 mil. But also bear in mind that it will also halve your light gathering capabilities. So with the lens there, I'll probably be shooting around f14, which isn't ideal, but you can get a lot closer than basically any other lens on the market. 1600mm is incredibly powerful on a full frame camera.
That one was quite contrasty.
We are right up next to the ice now. It's a bit too far away, really. The photo aren't going to be very good.
Yeah.
The ice is literally just here. All we need now, William, is a narwhal to appear and disappear.
They're made in Norway.
Is it high to long?
Sure, no worries. These are our lunches. William's had... I'm not sure what he's had, the top bit's ripped off. What was it you had?
Like a Arctic cod. It was like tusked.
Arctic cod.
Really?
I don't think well, it's not an Arctic cod. It's cold.
But very nice.
That's what was wondering with the ice cream.
Well, it's been a pretty magical experience. We're literally just heading back now. There's still one more walrus over there. But yeah, pretty photographed out. We've been out here for, I think, about 4 hours. Absolutely amazing. William's still getting some good photos on that side of the boat. But yeah, we'll head back and see if we see anything on the way back. But I think we're running a bit late. I think we've had lots of opportunities, which have been really good. So, did you get any good shots?
Loads.
Yeah?
Really happy with a few of them. When we went round the back of the iceberg, I managed to get the calm water with the reflection of, foreground with some icebergs, the walrus, with their turning and their moving, and you got two tusks. They're sort of, they were cuddling, but they looked like they were trying to fight each other for the best cuddle spot. And then in the background, it was just blue skies and then this lovely mountain drop. So it's, lovely foreground, really interesting midground, and then out of focus, but gorgeous, vignette with the sky and then the mountains in the background. So I think number 624.
Number 624 is it?
624 is my favourite.
We'll put it on screen.
My favourite so far.
That's your favourite?
I mean, manual focus with a 50-year-old lens.
Yeah.
Pin sharp, so really happy with it. And also some really good bird ones as well. I'm just looking through now. 149, 148. Some really good bird ones here. That one's lovely.
Yeah. We'll put it on
150,
screen.
yeah, 150. It's in the mental bank.
It's on the mental bank. And that's the thing, you don't just want to focus on, obviously the wildlife is the main centre stage of your image, but you want to think about the environment that the animal lives in and try and incorporate that within your photo. I found just focusing on the animal is nice, but if you're creating maybe a series or a gallery of images, I find you also want to focus on, maybe zoom out a little bit, don't be a maximum all the time. Think about, can you add the mountains into the background? Can you add the water that the walrus is sitting on into the background maybe, or into the foreground? Think about your framing of the image as well. If there's maybe 2 or 3 walruses, maybe photograph them all instead of one at a time. So yeah, William's done some very excellent stuff. What's that over there? I think we just spotted something. Was that a whale?
Seal, I think.
A bit difficult to see.
Seal.
Seal.
Seal by the looks of it. Or possibly walrus. Look at that.
It's all very exciting.
Walrus, maybe, seal.
We'll put it on screen what William got. We didn't
Not very
stop.
good, I'll be honest.
I think we're running a bit late, so we didn't stop for that.
No. So we're
just coming back to port now, and we were very lucky. Probably saw about 6 or 7 walruses. Possibly actually even more on the way back. There was some in the very far distance. But yeah, we got some excellent photos. So let's go ahead and disembark. And I'm really excited to have a look at some of them. And after looking through all of the photos that I took, which are around 1,400, these are by far some of my favourite of the day. And actually some of my favourite wildlife photos I think I have ever taken. So highly recommend doing a rib boat tour if you want to take photos like these, especially if you want to visit Svalbard. Thank you to all my YouTube members that are currently supporting the channel. If you guys want to support the channel and get some awesome perks, including free Lightroom presets like the ones that you can see on screen, make sure to go ahead to the link in the description. I've been James for Photo Fever,
and I'll catch you guys next week.